The United States of America, home to Hollywood, Purple Mountain's Majesty, and much, much more. Though this country is on the younger side, it still has a lot of history. From the many different kinds of indigenous people who call the continent home, to the immigrants who come to make a better life for themselves. Let's explore the top 10 facts about the rich history and culture of the United States of America. I'll see you after the globe. Number 1. 11 cities or one big city. New York City gets all the attention on the East Coast. But there are so many cities just a short drive from New York that over hundreds of years formed a huge megacity or megalopolis called the Northeast Corridor. Also known as the Acela Corridor, named for the high-speed rail that connects cities from Boston to Washington in a straight line through New York. The mega region is home to 50 million people and produces 20% of the gross domestic product of the United States on only 2% of the land area. Number 2. Native land in a modern world. The native people of the North American continent are so diverse, it's hard to sum up in just a short time. For those who live on settled lands, it's important to both acknowledge the people who came before and lived on these lands, but also remember that indigenous people of all types continue to live on these lands, preserving their culture, rediscovering their culture, and evolving their culture. If you do live in the Americas, native-land.ca is a great resource to discover the peoples who have lived where you live, so we can all truly understand our history. Number 3. A grizzly history. While you may recognize this as the flag of California, what you might not know is that the California grizzly bear that adorns this flag no longer exists. The California grizzly bear is a subspecies of the brown bear that's found all over Eurasia and North America. As European settlers made their way deeper into California and occupied the land of the California grizzly bear, they overhunted the bear, and eventually, in 1924, it was deemed extinct. But before the animal was a mere memory, the California grizzly bear was featured on a flag that American settlers used in their 1846 Bear Flag Revolt, a battle of American settlers against the Mexican settlers, who at that point still laid claim to California. This revolt failed, but 2 years later, in 1848, Mexico ceded California to the United States, and the state used that bear flag as inspiration for its state flag. Number 4. English is not the official language of the United States. Even though English is the most commonly spoken language in the United States, with over 80% of people speaking English at home, English is not the official language. Though countries all over the world use official language status to help make sure official documents are printed in a variety of local languages, the United States has decided that the freedom of speech guaranteed by the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution means one can speak in whatever language they prefer. And many in the United States feel that choosing a national language goes against the country's history as a nation of immigrants. Each state, however, can choose to adopt official languages, and many have, often choosing English. Number 5. Let's look at the Grand Canyon. We couldn't do a video about the United States without showing you the majesty of the Grand Canyon. So sit back and enjoy these views while we tell you a couple impressively large facts. The Grand Canyon is bigger than the state of Rhode Island. There are around 1,000 caves in the canyon. It is so vast that it creates its own weather and temperatures vary wildly. And scientists still can't even agree on when or how it was formed, making it literally one of the biggest mysteries on Earth. Well, it's definitely no mystery why 5 million people visit each year. Number 6. The Constitution wasn't the state's first government. Though the United States declared itself independent in 1776, and the Revolutionary War ended in 1783, the current U.S. Constitution wasn't in place until 1787. So, did the U.S. not have a form of government before then? Actually, it did. It was called the Articles of Confederation, and it fell out of favor pretty quickly because it didn't give the government enough authority to perform the functions we now think of as routine. For example, Congress didn't have the power to tax, and there was no executive branch to enforce any acts passed by Congress. And to make matters worse, each state only had one vote in Congress, regardless of size. Thankfully, the states came back together and took another shot. And that's how the US Constitution came to be. Number 7. A hub of invention. Whether through great timing, pure industry, or an entrepreneurial spirit, the US can lay claim to being the origin of so many wonderful inventions that it might be fun to just do a little list. Here we go. There's the Ferris wheel, traffic lights, baseball, video games, email, the personal computer, lasers, GPS, assembly lines, the fortune cookie, industrial robots, the cheeseburger, peanut butter, the corn dog, and, of course, the chocolate chip cookie. Well, now I'm hungry. Number 8. The States is home to all the weather. If you're an American, you don't need a passport to experience all the weather, as the United States is the only country that has all of Earth's 5 climate zones: tropical, dry, temperate, continental, and polar. You can see glaciers in Alaska, swamps in Louisiana, and experience the highest temperatures on the planet in Death Valley. If you visit a state like California, you can even ski and surf in the same day with less than a few hours drive in between, or a short helicopter ride if you want to be fancy. Number 9. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of friendship. No visit to New York is complete without seeing the Statue of Liberty, either from afar, from the coastline, from the ferry, or from one of the many tour boats. But did you know that the statue symbolizes the friendship between the United States and France? The statue was designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, and its metal framework was built by Gustave Eiffel. Yes, the Eiffel that also built the Eiffel Tower in Paris. They built the statue, but the US had to build the pedestal that it stands on. Number 10. There is more bourbon than people in Kentucky. Just like there are more sheep than people in New Zealand, there's more bourbon than people in Kentucky. Shows like Mad Men made bourbon drinks cool again, and the industry is growing fast. So fast that there are about 4.7 million barrels filled with bourbon in Kentucky now, compared to only about 4.3 million residents. We're definitely thankful to them for making a delicious drink to enjoy after a hard day's work. And that's the list. We hope you enjoyed getting to know a bit more about the old US of A. Comment below to let us know what kinds of things you'd like to learn top 10 facts about next. And subscribe to our channel to make sure you get our newest videos. Thanks for watching.